Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. So if you or anyone you love has ever suffered from addiction or substance abuse, you know how helpless it can feel, but it does not have to have, it doesn't always have to be that way. And the experts can help us from OneEighty. And we have Bobby Douglas joining us, the executive director, and Alex Morris, also the outpatient service manager at OneEighty. Thank you both for joining us today. Bobby, I'll start with you. When it comes to what services you offer, what types of addictions you can help, I'm sure there's a lot of them.
Absolutely. We're really fortunate at OneEighty. We really have a full continuum of care that runs from assessment to inpatient or more intensive services to medication-assisted treatment, residential treatment, and we're really fortunate we have a good relationship with Wooster Community Hospital where people can be medically withdrawn from alcohol or other drugs if they need that as well. But we really do have a very full continuum of care. We've been around for almost 50 years, so we've
You're
really
doing something
grown.
right
Yes,
to help.
yes.
And you know, this is something that just doesn't affect the person who's going through it. It's their friends, it's their family, people who they love. What if you are a loved one, or if you are a friend and you're out there thinking, you know, how can I do something? How can I help? What can they do in this situation?
Yes, I think it starts with education. And one resource that we really highly recommend is our physician, Dr. Nicole Labor, has a book called The Addictaholic Deconstructed, and it offers real life examples, relatable information. Also just like reaching out for their own help, going to Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, which are support groups for family members, reaching out and getting their own counseling because they need to be able to help themselves. We can't pour from an empty cup, right? We have to fill our own cup first. You have to be full first.
Exactly. You know, for those, I know there's a lot of people who look at it as and they'll say, well, this is a disease, but then there's other people who will say, well, they choose to put drugs into their bodies. How do you handle or answer something like that?
Yeah, sometimes maybe it does start off as a choice, but oftentimes people are using for the first time from trusted adults in their lives. And once that switch happens, once our brain chemistry changes, there's no going back. We like to say, like, once a cucumber becomes a pickle, it never goes back to a cucumber.
That's a perfect example.
And the drug becomes survival. When our brain chemistry changes, the drug becomes survival. Why would someone choose despair or chaos or isolation? They don't, because it's not a choice.
And I can only imagine that everything we've been through this pandemic, you've probably seen it increase. I mean, how has that added on to what has already been a problem?
It's been really tough on people with either active addictions and also people in recovery. And what we've seen is that addiction is a disease of isolation. And so when people were not allowed to be around other people, even though we learned how to use technology to do so, they became more and more isolated. So they might relapse or they might increase their use. We also have seen a huge increase in the use of alcohol. I think, if I'm quoting it right, 25% increase in the state of Ohio in alcohol sales. So we've seen a lot of people that maybe did not have problems really develop them through the pandemic because of the stress and anxiety that came along with that as well.
What would you ladies say, because I know this is something where you can't just all of a sudden snap your fingers and things change. It's a process. What is a simple first step that someone can take?
I think to reach out either to a professional organization like ours or to a 12-step group like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or things like that. Maybe talk to a friend who might go with them or help lead them to where they need to get the assistance. But that reaching out is the first step. Hopefully
you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah. You can't do it alone.
You can't. It's so true. I thank you both again, Bobby and Alex from OneEighty, and their website right there at the bottom of the screen. Take that first step, give them a look, and they clearly have made a world of a difference for so many people throughout Northeast Ohio. So thank you for what you're doing too.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to meet you both. David?